Hi everybody, it's Dazzy Man. Disability Dazzy Man Gaming. Gaming for everybody. I've done this before, but my memory gets bad. Now, there's a way you can zoom in on the screen. So if you're legally blind, partially blind, have horrendous eyesight problems, or just can't see clearly, what you have to do is you have to hold down the you tap the PlayStation and the square. You can hold it down out of streaming, or recording, but it'll take you back to the dashboard. So here we go. So there you go, look. So that's 1 times, that's 2, that's 3. So when you do it once, the problem is if there's any information on a bar to pull up and down, you can't move that bar anymore. So you've got to come out to go back in again. It's quite annoying for some things, but there we go. That solves a bit of it, but yeah, it works. So that's the main thing. So we'll get into the gaming again. So we just had a star bar. Looks like peanut butter in chocolate, made by Cadbury's in the UK. A very interesting fact is I used to make Kit Kat bars a very long time ago, back in the early 90s. Sorry for doing my glasses. So back in the early 90s, when I left school, I went to work there. I loved it, but I collapsed on nights at work, and that was it. That was my life over. Disabled for 30 years, and of course it got worse. But nice what you make of it. You got to laugh. It's better to laugh than cry. But we all have bad situations. We talk to each other about it, and that's what life's about. Being there and not guilt tripping anybody. If you've got anybody what's just ill or has got anything wrong with them, don't just talk about them. Go see them. One thing you find out when you get ill is that everybody disappears, pretty much. Everybody doesn't want to talk to you because they're amazed by what you've been through, abuse and stuff, and death and all sorts. And like in my case, been the papers and everything, for abuse and stuff, for being abused, and cover-ups in the social service and stuff. Anyway, so the problem is that people get upset because they see their friends or the family members not in pain or not well. So they don't want to go see them because it upsets them. But how do you think that person feels? It's like I will give an example of me. I'm bedbound now. I'm bedbound since end of December last year. And I have loads of friends on the internet and everything, but it's very rare anybody comes and sees me. Very rare. Because people don't want to, because they're either scared of catching it, they don't know what to say, or they can't deal with it. And these are the people that you get to a funeral when they've passed on, and they say, "Oh, there was such a great person, and we had such a laugh, and when we're kids." But what about now? What about for the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years that you've known they're alive, and yes, they're suffering in pain and they're not well, but the best thing in life is laughter and friendships and family, and I think people need to accept that, because we all say, especially in the UK, we have a thing now where it's like it's better to talk. We have one of the worst suicide rates for men in the world, but for everybody. But the problem is to say that to talk, but people don't. They can't cope. They just can't cope. If you said to somebody, one of your friends, "Look, I'm really suicidal, I'm at wit's end," yes, some people will come, some people run away. Especially if it happens more than once, or you're depressed, or you've got PTSD, or you've been abused and that. People say that, you know, people always say, oh, I'm always there for you, just pick up the phone and etc. etc. I'm one of those, what, it's just true, I will do that. But it's very rare that, and when you do say that, they're like, oh, what do you mean you want to take me upon the offer? I don't get it, you know. So I've cut a lot of those people out of my life because they're toxic. And I learned a very big lesson a long time ago. It took me a long time to get over this. Some friends that I had from school, I'd known some of them since I was 8 years old, and one of them I'd been in the same class with. I ended up working with them when I left school at Roundtrees. And the moment I got too ill to drive everybody about, and I moved like 2.5 miles away, didn't come and see me, just dropped me like a hot potato. And then I moved about 18 miles away, and I was bedbound, and I still managed to get down to the village where I grew up 3 times in 18 months. I couldn't even be bothered to come down and meet me in the pub with my family at the time, my parents. You always came down early, but yeah, it's sick, but you learn. And I hope when people get, you know, what they deserve out of life and don't end up in the same situation. We all get ill. We're all going to end up in the same boat eventually. 1 out of 3 of us end up in a wheelchair no matter what. At some point in your life. We need to look after each other. So yeah, end of the rant. Just remember, look after your friends and your family and your close ones. Don't just say you'll be there for them. Be there for them. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, guys. It takes 5 seconds to pick up the phone and say, hi mate, you okay? I've not spoke to you for a while. Make the first effort. Don't be scared to make the effort. Because there's only so many times that person will reach out to you, especially when they're in a lot of pain and not well. Don't feel embarrassed. Get over it. Do you know what? Just get over yourself. There's more important things than you. Grow a pair of bollocks and be there for the people that you say you're going to be there for. Don't just be apathetic. Say it. Because otherwise there's no point talking about being open with your friends and your family about suicide and mental health problems, because to be blunt, a lot of people just don't give a shit. And the mental health services in the UK is broken, completely broken. It took me, I think it was 11 years to get a proper counselling, and then I still can't talk about my abuse because it'll set my heart off and it'll give me a heart attack and kill me. So I can only talk about general things and about my pain and stuff from my heart. But yeah, it's taken 11 years because I've got a shit GP. The guy I'm with now, my nurse, Sean, legend mate. I know you're a big gamer yourself. Sean, shout out to you, mate. He's saved my life many times. Because when you're in so much pain and the painkillers aren't working anymore, and you're being messed about, it does affect your brain, and when you hurt yourself. And we've all been like that. I don't care who you are, we've all had that one moment. And unfortunately, some people what are in that moment do it as a cry for help and can't cope. Well, we all do that for cry for help because we can't cope. And if somebody was there, they would have picked them up. Some of us have been lucky, we survived suicide attempts. Some of us are not so lucky. And again, that's why you should be there for your friends and family. Yes, we all have busy lives, but as they've always said, it takes a village to bring up a kid and a community. And you know, it's amazing that we've all got phones, but nobody rings each other or is there for the people that, you know, they should be there for. So yeah, so enjoy your gaming, but why not sit and game with somebody if you got gaming? You know, I love gaming. I live my life through my friends and what I've got. I love to know about what they're doing, but I also live life through gaming and music and films. I like to enjoy life that way. It's not what you can't do, it's what you can do. A lot of people are like, oh my god, you know, if I had a heart condition that, I mean, absolute agony without painkillers, and then they're at work and I'll become bedbound and I've got a catheter in and permanent now, and I'm in pain all the time, I hardly ever sleep, and so on and so on, and functional neurological disorder, which is like MS and Parkinson's. So that's causes pain and limb problems, and then you atrophying because you haven't been getting any physio. So my left leg, so basically I'm putting loads of weight since I became bedbound. I was very thin when I fled the abuse from my parents. I was about 7.5 to 9 stone, and then I had a triple heart bypass. That was the April, and it was the August I had to have the bypass. I've been having heart attacks for 3 years and diagnosed. They thought I had esophageal reflux at Scarborough, and just kept fobbing me off, and my GK kept fobbing me off, and I was having multiple heart attacks. So very lucky to be alive. So yeah, so you know, just be with your friends and that. Just enjoy it. It's life. Life can be fun. Life is hard for all of us. I know we're all gonna have a bad time. You know, you can't have a best time forever. There's no such thing as living your best life, I'm afraid. You will have bad days and good days. Sod the influencers and these people that show you products and they're perfectly, look absolutely perfect. And these things are unachievable. I'm sorry, you know, I'm 52, but those things are unachievable. We're not going to be influencers with loads of money and that be our job. We're not going to be millionaires. We're not going to get the dream. We can have a good life and have a good job and a good time, but don't expect as an entitlement that you're going to get everything in life, because you won't. Life's hard and you have to struggle and you have to fight every day to keep going, but also to work and to look after your kids and your family and your other half, and you look after each other and your friends, because that's what it should be. That should be first. But just stop listening to the influencers. I know it's silly me being, I guess, classed as an influencer myself, but I'm not an influencer. I'm a gamer. If you don't want to buy a game, don't buy it. You know, I'm just playing games that I enjoy and sharing that, but also talking about my mental health, physical health, and things like that. Well, I don't like the word mental and physical. I think it's just bad health, because it's holistic. Your brain monitors everything. Your brain is in charge. It's you know, it's the thing that runs everything. So it tells how things to work. So without a brain, your body won't work. I suppose, like, you know, with your organs, I guess, you know, it's exactly the same again. But your brain is telling your heart to pump and all the rest of it, and you know, and move your legs, and that's what happens with function FND. Your brain might say, right, move your left leg, but all the wiring is messed up completely, so you might not be able to move your left leg, or might not be able to, or it shakes, or it won't work better, and then all of a sudden you can't breathe anymore, so you're on a ventilator and things like that. It can be very, very serious. There was a thing on Lorraine a few years ago, a young lass that was a Olympian, and she, you know, would get really, really like bedbound like me, and even not be able to breathe and stuff. I mean, for a lot of people, FNDs can be like, you have good days and bad days, and you can recover for a while, like MS, but eventually it's going to get you. But with me, it's been progressive ever since I was 22. I've obviously had it all my life, but I didn't know. And then I didn't get diagnosed until I was early 40s. by a great neurologist at Middlesbrough, and it was very rare then, and he'd only seen like 3 people, and he'd not seen a case like me. He'd seen 3 people that year and he'd not seen a case like as bad as me, and I could walk about a bit then, but I was having to use a wheelchair. That was when I was married before my ex-wife cheated on me. That was a story. But you know, shout out to her, I guess, because I met her on Plenty of Fish dating site, and I was being abused by my parents, not fed and looked after, and she got me out there. We started dating, and she got me out there and saved my life in that way. But yeah, there's no need to cheat on you and stuff. A lot of bad things happen, but anyway, she got me out there. That's the main thing. And I'm with a beautiful lass now. Keep it quiet, but I adore her. I love her to bits. Right, yeah. So yeah, going back to this, my brain. Sorry, guys, I digress terribly. I'm a writer, and I go off on tangents and come back to the main subject and everything. I'm a bit crazy. Well, I am very crazy. I don't mind being crazy. It means being crazy. So what? At least to enjoy life when I can. And I think we're all crazy in the inside, but nobody's perfect. So what was I saying? Let me remember. Guys. Oh man. I was on about. I'm sorry. It's gone, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah. Actually, I can't remember. Right. Anyway, that's my rant over. I'm going to end this one in a few minutes because it's more of a political rant. Oh yeah, I was about neurologist. He'd seen 3 people like that year, and he said I was the worst case he'd seen. And nobody knew what it was. And it took all that time to get diagnosed in my life. And then I saw him about 2 years later, and he was now seeing 300 people a year. It's the most common form of neurological disorder. It's more prevalent in MS, Parkinson's, dementia, and nobody really knows anything about it. Some doctors and nurses treat it like it's psychosomatic and it's in your head. Again, everything's in your head. Don't believe that don't believe anything's wrong with you. There's very little money put into it, and it is the biggest form, as I say. So it's crazy that there's not enough an awareness for it, and it is very debilitating, and you don't know when it's going to happen. And when it happens, by God, you know about it. And if you're stuck with it, you can go blind with it and everything. It's scary. It's really scary. Anyway, that's my rant for the bit. So please, look after yourselves and look after each other. Look after those that you can't see, but you care about. Okay. Sign out for a few minutes, guys. Okay, bye.